E aí pessoal, beleza? A gente tá de volta aqui na parte 2 do vídeo para continuar, né? Porque assim, a gente começou a ter umas discussões bem legais, aí também eu não queria correr para fazer um vídeo pequeno e perder conteúdo, né? Até aproveitar que a gente tá todo mundo junto aqui. Para essa parte 2 a Nanda acabou de chegar do trabalho, então ela pulou aqui, vai participar da conversa com a gente. So, web continues. Actually, you Anya, were about to say more cons, right?
I just want to continue about this topic. Topic about this making friends with Germans.
Yeah.
Because we invite all our neighbors, and we wanted to make a party for all of them to introduce ourselves.
This case it's funny. Yeah.
To see them. So we invite all of them, I think 1 month before, and we were really prepared. I cooked all day, and we were sitting and waiting, and at the end, none of them come. Only one.
One.
And one Ukrainian girl.
And you invite how
we were
much?
sitting, so we have 4 floors, 2 apartments in each. So it's
Around 16, 17 flats.
Ooh. Okay.
How did you invite them?
We have a WhatsApp chat. So
You even have WhatsApp already?
yeah, we have a WhatsApp chat with our neighbors. So we discuss every time, for example, if someone needs a parking place, we just ask, or we are making a lot of, not a lot of, but we are making some barbecue in our yard.
Yes.
So everyone, not everyone, but some people come to have this wurst in a barbecue in front of us, but no one come to us.
Okay.
And we were sitting like,
Yes.
And the next time we've done it twice. We've done a barbecue party for Thomas' colleague.
Yes.
And he has a lot of German, not a lot, but more.
Quite some, yeah.
More than we have German colleagues. And again, none of German colleagues come to us. Only Russian, Ukrainian, or Albanian, or anything.
Okay.
So,
So let's give them a chance. Help us, Stefan, here, please.
Yeah, I'm confused.
As a representative.
I'm confused. But so you invited them 1 month before. Did you repeat the invitation afterwards?
Yes, of course.
In 1 week before, the party.
Then I think you just have bad neighbors.
Actually,
And we should not generalize, right?
Because usually we make every effort to be punctual and on time and tell people if we come and not.
No, of course, At the end, of course, all of them were excused and said, "Oh, sorry, we can't come because we are here, we are there." But it's fact. No one come.
Yeah, but one interesting about it is that, for example, here, especially in Hamburg, what I heard is that indeed it's quite difficult or takes time to do, like, let's say, German friends. But it's really common. For example, what we are doing right now, we came abroad, and we used to get doing party together. It's really common. So that's what foreigners do. They do here in Germany, right? In Hamburg itself. For example, meetups, especially for example people that come to work with IT, they usually, what I heard is that they try to go for meetups. In the meetups, it's really common that you have English speakers, and they use the meetups to socialize. Like for example, today we have Danivi from our work going for a Python meetup, especially to try to socialize and get it on topics, right? So, but this thing as well. So, actually, when we moved to our flat, we even did not try to do a party, right, with our neighborhood. So, I guess it's a bit about expectations.
The party with your neighbors is kind of an un-Germanish thing to do. I don't know. I didn't do one.
I was invited to once, but then at the time I was speaking zero German, and it was a Christmas Glühwein party with my neighbors. The first time I was living here in Hamburg, but they invited me, and I think the impression is like a neighborhood party are in kinda selected specific time. It's like it's good to meet yourself. I don't know, around Easter or maybe around Christmas to have a Glühwein together. But In general, I have no bad experience. I'm a bad guest, so I don't throw party myself. But I like to attend. I honestly, I never had never had bad experience of people complaining. I invited this and that, and no one showed up.
Yeah. So one thing that I guess, okay, let's try to check it out if it's related or not, because I have no experience with Nordic countries, but I heard that this difficulty to do some friends in the north of Europe, it's some kind of Nordic stuff. Like Swedish, from Finland, people, even you guys from Russia, you mentioned to me that depend of, I guess, in the north, I guess Yuri mentioned to us, right? Yuri is one of our friends as well. So is it true, or is it something that it's Hamburgish, or you cannot generalize to Nordic culture?
I think it's kind of known thing that the northern people are colder than the southern people.
They even mentioned that
it
it's
may be true.
maybe true, right?
It's I would say we're putting a lot of people in one bundle together, but in general, with a huge standard deviation, I would say it's generally true. What is probably in your case, and I was thinking about that while you were speaking, is made the difference is that all the were successful party that attended to German, the majority of the people were in good relationship together, not just work acquaintances, but people you hanged out with before, not all of them, but you have some sort of connection you felt comfortable hanging out with.
Yeah.
That may be the difference between that and throwing a housewarming party with your neighbor that you just met across the corridors.
You don't usually like after university, I'd say, have parties. I'm having a party, all come. You invite more specific, yeah.
But I have to admit that if we invite parents of friends of our daughter, they always come. Yeah, it's true.
Okay. Because it's related to the foreign stuff, right? That I mentioned.
Germans.
The German one.
That's a
Okay.
specific invite, so that's...
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we even managed to make a friends with.
Nice. Okay.
Or maybe you should have written in big bold letters, free beer.
Okay, yeah, see. Okay, good.
They would have asked you, who are you, and you would have said, I'm the one who invited.
Now I see our mistake because we said
It's about marketing, right? Yeah, it's not social, it's marketing. Yeah. Okay, go.
Okay.
Good. Let's move. Okay, do you guys have something to add on this topic? I would like to move to the next one. Okay, good. So the next one is let's go for something general again. So what are the main tips or hints for those that are thinking to move to Germany / Hamburg, for example? Marco.
Okay, so I will go again. I talked in the previous video about bureaucracy. I think it seems easy, but when you move here, you have to have your shit together. So you have inform beforehand as much as possible, because the bureaucracy is a little bit overwhelming to deal with at the beginning and move around with. Once it starts, the machinery, and it leads you somewhere, but there may be something that you need from your home country, and for me it's easy. It's an hour and a half of flight. If you move from South America, and maybe not that easy to retrieve a document that you really need.
Yeah. For example, just open up parentheses here. What Marco is saying. Let's try to be concrete about this bureaucracy. If there is a form in Germany saying that you need that document, do not expect that if you start a process without one of these documents, it's gonna work. You have to present all the documents, and even if, for example, in my case, when I was coming from Brazil, I even have to translate a lot of documents to German with a certified authority, okay?
For example, I can give you the practical example, many, especially your PhD certificate, your university certificate, you would probably need an official translation in German.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Yes. You would probably
Okay,
need an
that's-
official translation in
Or
German.
birth certificate and stuff like that.
Yeah, this for sure, but the PhD stuff I did not know.
No, but even easy things where you think, well, there's 3 numbers on there. It should be clear what they mean.
Okay.
So there are of course there are services that do this in official translator.
yeah.
But don't go. I mean, if you have a good friend that does this for you, this is not valid.
Yeah, exactly.
You need an official translator that does this and put a stamp
With
on
a
it.
stamp, yeah.
Put a stamp on it, and then the Bundeswehr know that this is what it's actually means.
Yes.
Yeah, and we have experience with translation of Toma document. It was 2 pages, and we paid 120 euros for 2
Ooh.
pages.
Yeah, but it's
over-
like this.
But
Yeah.
here or in
Here.
Here.
Yeah.
It's not a book. It's not a kid.
that's
It's
why-
just
It's normal.
read
It's
it.
normal.
It's
It's normal. I paid 90 euros for my PhD certificate.
Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah.
It's really expensive.
yeah,
Stefan?
for my documents also.
No,
You went
the fee comes from this official stamp thing.
Yes.
If you add on more pages, it's not going to increase the price that much actually, but the initial thing is. Alright.
Yeah, but you get used to it, right? It's expensive, but I mean, you have to do it. You do anyway. You pay, and life goes on, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. And I did only once in my lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Yeah, it's a good point. So, what else about tips from? people coming
Well, we
abroad?
mentioned it before, but in generally, I think I would really suggest to learn the language. Hamburg is really easygoing. Actually, as Stefan was saying before, in my first staying here in Hamburg, I really learned just very basic sentences and probably wrong. Not all the cases correct because it's so much easier in Hamburg if you know a little bit of English to get by. But don't be tempted to do in this way because you will find out in a niche of completely just expats. And you will feel isolated and you will start thinking those Germans are assholes, they don't come at parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, learning German
I
goes
agree.
around. I mean, as soon as you are, it will take a few years, depending on how skilled are you in German. As soon as you are able to strike a normal conversation, not talking about philosophy, but just normal things, you can go in bars and talk to random strangers, and they will answer you and will chat with you.
Yeah.
This knowing German goes a long way.
Yeah.
And if I may add last thing,
Sure.
since you are there and you are learning German, don't be afraid to try to do things in German way. Try to eat German food, try to adapt to their customs. I know it's difficult, but if you
But you have to try, right? Yeah.
but if you
have to.
close yourself in your niche,
Yeah, for God's sake, you are living in the country, right? So yeah.
everything we said about Germans being a little bit more like a more personal space in between, it's true, and you're not helping yourself if you're keep on acting like I'm a foreigner. Try to push this barrier and try to
I received a tip when I was moving to here years ago that someone told me, does not matter what happens, do not fight against the culture because otherwise you will never win, right? So you have to integrate the culture. You do not fight against the culture. So in the end, that's exactly this. So try different foods. You have to. I agree with you. You have to learn the language. So it's not about that you have to do in a rush, but keep in mind that you have to do some homework, right? So
And just
Yes.
About the weather.
Yeah, we already talked.
yeah. In the
Please.
previous video we talked a
Because
bit about the
you
weather.
are from Hursian and
And
okay,
for us
but
it's fine.
for us, oh my god.
The weather, it's really depend where you are coming from, right? So
Yes.
for us from Italy, for us from South America, it's quite
Strong.
it's quite hard to deal with.
I'll give the famous quote now for Hamburg here. If you don't like the weather in Hamburg, wait 30 minutes, it'll be different.
you have to live here to understand it.
Okay, and for Russian guy, they even said that it's better, right?
Yeah.
At least from St. Petersburg,
Yeah,
right?
from St. Petersburg because people who is from Krasnodar, Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely different.
Okay. So tips and hints
Our tips,
from you guys.
if you have a chance, you should ask your employee to hire someone who will help you with Kita and
Perfect.
with these vouchers, because it's not so straightforward.
You should maybe say what a kita is,
Yes.
though.
Kita, yeah, it's a kindergarten.
Yeah.
Because it's not so easy to understand what you have to do to get all these papers. For example, in Hamburg, you have 5 hours for free from government. In a kindergarten, each children can apply for these, but yeah, sometimes you need more, and it's especially if you do not speak German, it's really complicated. So if you have a chance to ask your employee to hire someone who can help you with it, it really will help you.
Okay.
Because I can imagine how we will survive without.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, for this it's so serious that I will go a bit in Portuguese. Just a moment. So, o que a Anya tá falando aqui é que assim, isso eu já até mencionei em outros vídeos. Quando você estiver vindo com uma empresa, tenta ter certeza que a empresa que está fechando o contrato com você vai te oferecer um agente de realocação. It's like a relocation agent, something like this.
Yeah.
Right, consultant that will help you. Actually, I already mentioned this in other videos. So, e essa pessoa, especially in this beginning, because you do not know German, right, language, and all the paperwork, bureaucracy, for example, you have to have support. Você vai precisar de alguém para te ajudar nisso aí. No caso deles, eles estão falando de Kita. Kita é o jardim de infância pra gente, tá? Aí no Brasil. Então, que você chega aqui, você vai precisar também de uma... Se você tem família, filhos, adolescentes ou criança, você vai precisar de uma ajuda nisso.
One thing to add in there, though,
Yep.
because not every employer might give you that. I would say don't be afraid to ask your colleagues, then your German colleagues, because most will be willing to help.
Perfect.
They'll do a phone call for you or read through the documents and give you a loose translation. Or you can go to the office with you. So if you ask, I would say at least 1 out of 3 will tell you, sure, I'll help you on this.
Good. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's
That's the
true.
point. Yeah.
It's true.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to add, about relatives.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a chance, take your relatives as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
People are really suffering to being alone.
Yes. Yes.
So
indeed.
if you have your partner, just prepare all documents to try to move together.
Yes.
For us, it was really fast. It just in 3 weeks, Toma came to Germany and we were together. But
I remember you were crying every day at work, so I think you were.
but we already so experienced when people have to come back to home or just stop their work because we are not managed to get a couple together, partners.
Yes, I had to live here like 3 months alone. It was quite really painful, so I almost
I mean,
get back.
And for me too.
It was really painful. So.
I mean, sometimes it's happened that you get a visa, you come here when your partner by some reason do not get a visa. So you already moved here, start new life, and when you have to stop everything.
It's a nightmare.
It's
it's a nightmare.
So try to prepare everything.
Yeah.
But you need visa for.
Yeah, we need
here?
to.
Yeah.
We need visa to live here.
Okay, you have some comments about this? No?
This not
Okay.
so much, except for
Yeah.
I mean what Anya obviously already said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. From my side, I guess I already mentioned as well. So try as much as possible to get exactly what Marco said. All the information, paperwork, official information. Do not trust only what the Facebook groups say about things. Just go for the official websites. Check yourself the documents. Go for Google Translate or translate what you need to translate. Ask for if you need to translate something in order to apply for a visa or documents. You have to find an official translator. In Brazil, we have a tradução juramentada. That's the way that we call in Brazil. So in the last point here, so this thing it's really personal. We don't need to discuss too much. Just in general. So somehow And I will start for myself. Somehow, do we think to come back to our country? So this thing is quite. Right now, I don't think so. I don't think to come back, and I do not think that I will, at least in the next 10 years. So Fernanda, definitely not.
Yes.
Right? So Fernanda even do not think at all about it. So, but let's see. I don't know, Marco.
So neither do I, honestly. I think at least in the immediate future, I may think about when I be a retired person. Maybe I will move back.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe, but I'm not even sure about that.
Yeah.
By that time, global warming might have also.
Well, by the time my hometown in North Italy will be a Caribbean paradise.
Oh, okay.
Hamburg might be
because the whole flatland would be, before that would be completely flooded. That would be Mediterranean Sea, and my home would be like a Caribbean
So
paradise.
you have beachfront property.
Yeah, I have beachfront property.
Yeah. Okay, Anya, Toma?
Yeah, for us, we definitely don't want to come back for next 7 years because we want to our daughter speak fluently in German and do not forget it.
Okay, yeah.
So, and in the future, I don't think so. Maybe to our Europe country, but not Russia.
Okay.
And you?
I don't have much of a choice. I think I'm stuck here.
Okay, in Hamburg.
Well, no, in my home.
Okay.
This still being my home country.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm stuck
But
in
maybe you
Hamburg.
want to
Yeah.
move to another city from Munich.
That's what I mean. Like, my home country will likely stay Germany,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
but not maybe the country where I live. That's,
No, okay.
could be different.
Okay, good. So I guess that's it. Do you guys have something else to add?
I actually have one,
Yeah,
one
sure.
more thing, which I've heard quite a few people outside Germany say when they come here, which intimidates them.
Mm-hmm.
Germans like discussing politics, but it's totally fine to say you do not want to.
Okay, yes, indeed. Because we Brazilians, nowadays, we do not like to discuss politics at all, right? And it's really something different for us because sometimes people on the streets try to already, almost like a small talk,
Yeah.
they start to push to
Like me,
discuss
yeah,
politics,
yeah.
right? It's funny. It's
Yeah.
almost like the weather in Brazil, they start to discuss politics with you, so
Remember? Você
yeah.
lembra da gente no ônibus?
Yeah, in the bus, the guy would just, I mean, in less than 2 minutes, the guy already start to talk about
Bolsonaro.
Brazilian politics. Yeah,
politics.
yeah, it's funny. So yeah, it just but
In
that's
German,
what-
in German.
exactly that's what Stefan said. So it's
Yeah.
you can
Well,
just
he was probably
it's
proud
great.
of himself that he actually remembered the name correctly.
Ah,
He was
okay.
interested then.
yeah.
But it's totally fine to say you don't want to. It's just
Okay.
we like that as a discussion point.
Okay.
Yeah. And we Russians, we are not allowed.
Okay,
Posso
that's
fechar
it.
com uma coisa? Posso fechar com
Yeah,
uma coisa?
sure.
Vou falar em português, ok?
Mhm.
Tem uma frase que o pessoal fala muito do norte, que você estava falando da questão de fazer amizade. Eles falam assim que você pode demorar a achar um amigo aqui no norte, seja o norte da Alemanha ou os países nórdicos, mas diz que quando você acha um amigo pela vida inteira.
No.
Eu acho válido falar isso aqui também.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know if
Go ahead.
if I overlap with what she just said because my Portuguese is not that good.
Ok.
But I had another quant, and it was sparked out when I was watching another YouTube video of American expats in Germany. Germany is a very variegated country. May not look like that, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pick and choose if you have the possibility between different cultures, and especially in big city, you can find your niche. Don't be
yes.
afraid to stare where you are put at the beginning.
Yeah.
Go explore and try to
Yeah.
find a place that suits you better. Because, for example, I give you the example of Hamburg. Within half an hour of public transport, you can move from a very central district like Sternschanze
Yes.
to countryside with
Mm-hmm.
with houses and dog little
Yeah.
gardens.
Yeah,
So-
yes. It's a really good tip. So yes, in general, that's what you said. So if you are struggling to have some social life, let's say, try to find some community that you are engaged with already, right? So, for example, I don't know. So in Brazil, I used to go to the church. Here, I'm still Christian, of course. So I can join the church here. So Anya was swimming in Russia, and Anya is swimming again here, right? You can find your if you play some instrument, you can find some band or something like this that you can enjoy, right? So
But even more basic than that, it's like, okay, I'm a more a city person. Well, there are plenty of cities in Germany big enough. They can offer you a decent city life. But I like more quiet places.
okay, I see.
Well, you
Mhm.
can do that as well.
Mhm.
I
Don't be
completely-
afraid to be. Don't be afraid. And don't think of Germany as a monolithic block, like stereotypical with the Holzbau houses.
Yeah.
and leather hoses.
Daimas.
Yes.
We don't all wear lederhosen.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Please.
Actually, it's.
I don't own any.
yeah.
But you drink beer.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Ok. É isso então, pessoal. Thanks you guys. You guys are awesome. So that's it. So please share and let your comments if you have questions. I will share the video between us. They will also reply more questions if you guys have something. Just put in the comments and that's it. Okay. See you. Bye.
Cheers.
Alright. Cheers.
Hey.